This is Toledo Symphony Lab, a behind-the-scenes look at the world of classical music from WGTE Public Media and your Toledo Symphony. I'm Brad Cresswell. Joining me today are the Toledo Symphony's president and CEO, Zach Vassar. We also have principal second violin and artistic administrator, Merwin Sue. And we have a very special guest today by phone. That would be, hold it, hang on a second. Vanessa Gardner. Vanessa Gardner is the new Director of Marketing and Communications at the TSO. Let's have a round of applause for Vanessa.
Yay!
Vanessa, are you still there?
This is the most amazing welcome I've ever received from via phone.
Okay, and that's our show. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, just imagine what it's going to be like when you're actually here.
Well, you have a lot to live up to already.
We do have trumpets.
Yeah, we have plenty of stuff on the soundboard here that we could spend the entire episode just welcoming you. But
I'm surprised we haven't done that. This is our 4th year. How have we not just done an episode with you and your soundboard?
Yeah, well, that's on my list.
That's a B-side.
Right? That's on my list.
I think we should use some Toledo Symphony musicians and make new sounds for the soundboard.
Ooh.
Okay, moving on. So Vanessa Gardner is the new marketing director at the Toledo Symphony. We're going to talk about Vanessa. We're going to play a couple of games. We're going to spend the entire episode getting to know you. You're on the phone with us right now. Where are you calling us from?
The other end of a telephone.
I am calling you from Tyler, Texas, which is in, I would say, deep East Texas, about 2 hours east of Dallas.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Now, just give us a quick little, and actually, I have some music here. What I want to hear is Vanessa's story. You can tell us your story. You can start, with birth, or you can start with school, or you can start in the last 2 weeks. It's up to you. But okay. My question, first of all, do you want the happy music, the happy-go-lucky music for this, or do you want the inspirational music as your background?
I think I will go with the happy-go-lucky music. Thank you. Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Can I go?
Okay. Vanessa's story, take 1. Here we go.
All right. I was born in Kingston, Ontario, Canada, and my family immigrated to the Rio Grande Valley in Deep South Texas in 1990, which is where I learned to play the French horn. I studied French horn all through junior high and high school, and went on to study French horn at the Boston Conservatory, which is now a part of Berkeley in Boston, Massachusetts.
Wow.
I played professionally in Boston for about, 13 years after I graduated. Freelance. I worked in the music department at MIT. Yes, MIT has a music department. Yes, it is amazing. MIT also has a fully funded chamber music training program, which is really spectacular. After MIT, I went to the Center for the Arts at Northeastern University, where I helped the director kind of rebrand the center. There was a college redivision at Northeastern, so the Center for the Arts became part of the College of Arts, Media, and Design. So we kind of rebirthed that, if you will, and that was a lot of fun. And then I spent about a year working in the Department of External Events and Conference Housing, where I managed the summer conference housing program at Northeastern, so that was a lot of fun. And then I decided to move to East Texas. As I mentioned, I was playing French horn. I was freelancing, pretty much had a lot of full-time jobs while I was trying to freelance. I played with Boston Ballet Orchestra for about 8 seasons. And then I decided to kind of put it all together, wrap it all up into one package, and move to East Texas, where I became the executive director for the East Texas Symphony Orchestra. And I've been here for just over 3.5 years, and now I'm frantically trying to pack all of my belongings, sell the ones I don't want, and ship up to Ohio. The end. Actually, it's not the end. It's the beginning.
I love that.
Very nice. I love the fact that you have those connections to Boston. You know, I'm an old alum of New England Conservatory myself, and I know there's a music department at MIT because I sang the premiere of a Schubert opera at MIT many years ago. It's called The Devil's Pleasure Palace, which, by the way, I think we're going to call our podcast from now on. but
Good enough for Schubert, good enough for me.
So there, I feel like I have this connection with you already with the Boston musical activities.
Absolutely.
And Vanessa, you should know that Brad Cresswell recorded Beethoven's Ninth Symphony with the one and only Boston Philharmonic under the direction of Ben Zander.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Except he redid it just recently.
And he didn't call you?
And he didn't call me.
Wow.
Didn't ask my permission or anything. So,
I bet you'll still get a couple of royalties from the original.
Yeah, my version is much better, I have to say.
It is one of my favorite versions.
Yeah. But enough about me. So, Vanessa, there's a lot of information that you packed into that Vanessa's story. Really appreciate that. So, you're coming from Texas up to Toledo, Texas to Toledo.
Tyler to Toledo, T to T.
Yeah. Have you spent any time here before? I mean, what was the process of connecting with the symphony here?
Well, actually, I visited Toledo in February, and so if that didn't scare me off from winters, I think I'll be okay. It wasn't too cold when I was there in February, so fingers crossed. But I have known a couple of folks at the Toledo Symphony for a couple of years. We've crossed paths at industry conferences, if you will, and became fast friends and confidants in the field. And so when this opportunity came up a couple, months ago now at this point, I jumped at the chance to apply. It was finally the right time. Zach and I have talked about a couple of things over the years, but this was finally the right time. So I threw my hat into the ring and went through the whole rigmarole application process, soup to nuts, and now I'm on my way. So.
Excellent. Zach, why did you hire Vanessa? What qualities did you find that you wanted here in Toledo?
He needed more former Canadians.
Yeah, I don't have enough.
The Canadian thing is a running joke on this podcast, by the way.
There are a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of us.
Yeah, well, be warned.
A lot of running jokes or a lot of Canadians? I'd like some clarification.
Is there a difference?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Well,
back to the question.
I always feel like I should raise my one eyebrow when I hear that music.
Yeah.
It's like it's Dr. Evil or something. Yeah.
It reads really well on the
so
radio.
you asked me a very serious and sincere question. I can't remember what it was anymore.
Well, you can basically answer any question you like. Vanessa, why don't you ask Zach a question?
Zach,
Free shot.
You were just about to tell our listeners how awesome I am and why you hired me.
Gotcha. Good marketing. I see what you're doing there. That's called positioning, ladies and gentlemen. So I first met Vanessa at a director's conference in, I want to say, January of 2017.
Yep.
And Vanessa, I think you were weeks on the job, maybe days on the job at that point. And we're sitting in this room, and you have the presidents of, all the major big orchestras. You have all of the presidents of smaller orchestras. And we're listening to, I think, a 2-day session with an outstanding consultant named Horst Abraham.
Do you remember the subject of the session?
Of course I do.
I'll remember. It was working through adaptive challenges versus technical challenges.
You are exactly right.
Adaptive versus technical. What does that mean?
Well, do you have 2 days in a breakout session? But what I remember about this, besides the wonderful topic and the wonderful leadership from Horst, was that Vanessa would challenge these notable presidents of orchestras and ask them to clarify their position and statements. And I just remember sitting back like,
wow,
who's she?
You were like, I want some of that. I need her to ask me those questions.
Well, I just was so impressed at how committed Vanessa was at those early days to her profession, to the industry, and to doing things not only right, but well. And
Yeah.
then over the course of the next couple of years, as we would run into each other at these conferences, we would inevitably tackle weighty and not so weighty topics. And I just remember thinking at one point along the way, and Vanessa, I know I've introduced you to people this way, is that she's going to run the place someday. And we are so lucky to have her thoughtfulness and her excellent reputation. The stuff that she's done in Texas is just exemplary. And I think that as we seek to grow and we seek to incorporate innovation and change and strategy, it's going to be really great to have Vanessa's instincts on board.
Yeah. Well, of course, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. And of course, with the TSO, your season has adapted under the pandemic. There's a whole big list of topics there that we can talk about. But before we do that, I want to play a little getting to know you game, Vanessa.
Okay.
This is our version of 21 questions, which is more like 3 questions for time, but we may ask a little bit more than 3 questions. What I've done is I've taken some 21 questions, sentences, some questionable, is that a word? Question sentences.
Wow, this is getting so deep.
And I've given them to Zach and Merwin and myself. We're going to kind of go around, spin the wheel, pick a question and ask you, and you have to be as honest as you can in your answer, okay?
Do we all have the same questions?
No,
or do we
you
different ones?
have different questions.
Can I peek off of?
You want to switch?
No.
You want to switch with Merwin's questions?
If I make up a question, you'll never know.
Well, you can make up a question. That's fine.
Okay.
As long as she answers it honestly. And just remember, nobody's listening except for, your friends and relatives and a couple of other folks. And we definitely will be posting this online for anybody to download at any time. So,
Okay, perfect.
okay. I'll go first, right? Let me spin the wheel here. Okay, what would your spirit animal be?
My spirit animal would probably be a dog.
Okay. Any special kind of dog?
Maybe that one from the movie Up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
that's an excellent choice.
What was his
Yeah.
name? Was it Doug?
Doug.
Or yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to call
Yeah.
you Doug from now on.
Okay.
All right, Zach, let's spin the wheel for you. All right, that's enough. Go ahead.
I love it. Well, okay, so I'll start easy on you. If the Red Sox were to play the Toledo Mud Hens, who would win?
Gosh, they haven't been super hot in a while, but I'm gonna go with the Sox. Sorry.
You're getting a lot of use out of that
You
buzzer.
are.
Okay, Merwin, you're up. A little spin. I'll give you a full spin of the wheel here.
Well, my arm's definitely stronger. So
Yeah.
True.
That's why. So
You have a bigger wheel.
I've decided that I am not going to call you Doug. But if,
Thank you.
say, I had been a friend of yours from childhood, what would I call you?
You probably would have called me Vanessa. My family calls me Van. No one else calls me Van except my family. No one else is allowed to call me Van.
Well, since we're playing Wheel
yeah.
of Fortune, can we
Yeah,
call
can
you?
we Vanna?
Can we call you Vanna?
No.
How about
only-
Vanish?
Only one. No, absolutely not. Only one person in my family is allowed to call me Vanna, and that's my second or third-ish cousin. Sue.
Well, I want to hear that story.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. She just started calling me Vanna when I was a kid, and she's the only person that ever did. Back to the spirit animal question thing. My dad used to call me Weasel. So I do not identify with a weasel. But I don't know, maybe when I was wrapped up in a whatever blanket that I looked kind of like a little weasel. Maybe I am a little weaselly. I probably am. Zach probably thinks I am.
I think that deserves a cheer.
Yay.
Vanessa, a.k.a. Doug, a.k.a. Weasel.
I'm just so disappointed that we already printed her business cards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Brett, I
All
think
right.
you're up.
I'm up. Okay. If you had to change your first name, what would you choose?
I wouldn't. I actually really love my name.
Excellent.
Yay!
Wait, what's your name again?
Yeah.
I didn't even change my last name when I got married one time, so there's that.
Excellent.
Next question.
Next question, Zach. Oh, let me spin the wheel for you. I forgot. Here, I'll give you a full spin. It's not quite as long as Merwin's, but it's all right.
4. Okay, are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Oh, I am totally an extrovert. I am an...
But I'm sorry, you said you were a French horn player.
Yeah.
Are those incompatible?
They are, yeah.
Really?
Really?
Think about
Okay.
that for a minute.
Make a note. French hornists are introverts. Okay.
That,
I
I never
don't
really thought
think
about it,
that's
but I
true.
think it might be true.
Except for Doug. Okay.
Yeah. I am an ENFJ.
I'm an ENFJ.
Oh my gosh.
Outstanding.
That makes so much sense.
What, okay, what is it you're talking about? Is this
Myers-Briggs.
some kind of psychological
Yeah.
thing? Oh, okay.
Myers-Briggs, yeah. So
We should
E stands for-
we did the one episode with the
Clinical psychologist?
No, the stars.
astrologer?
Thank you. I was going to say the teleprompter.
That's like the 5th time I've buzzed now.
Yeah, and it's 3 for me. Thank you.
With the astrologer, yeah.
The astrologer. We should do one with Myers-Briggs and see if that provokes any interesting conclusions.
Indeed. I'll see if Sigmund Freud is available.
Thank you.
We can...
E stands for extrovert. N is actually intuitive, which
Makes
you
no
would think
sense.
it would be I, but
It's
I
not
is
intuitive,
introvert,
yeah.
so you can't use I again. F stands for feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and J stands for judging.
Judging,
So I am a feeling judger.
And now, speaking of the astrologer, you have to add a G to that list for genius, which we would give to Merwin because
That's
she made a
true.
big deal.
Yeah.
Remember that? Out of what a genius you were? And she said I had gas.
So you also get
Yeah.
a G.
Excellent. I like that.
I'm happy that that's the only thing on your soundboard that can be triggered by gas.
I don't know. I'm looking it
Don't
over
go
right now.
looking.
I'm looking it over. Let's see what comes next. Well, let's pause the question game now that we have a whole bunch of different ways that we can refer to you, Vanessa. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on with orchestras. I mean, you've had this experience, I'm sure, in Texas with the pandemic and with social distancing and with performances having to be postponed, delayed, or outright canceled. What are the biggest challenges that you're facing as you come to a new place working with the Toledo Symphony under these conditions?
Well, I think understanding the conditions is the first big challenge. And I know that the conditions in Ohio and the rules and regulations in Ohio are very different than they are in Texas. And so they're actually a lot more strict in Ohio than they are in Texas.
Yeah.
So there's some challenges with capacity, with revenue potential, all of that. And that's normal for everyone is dealing with capacity and revenue challenges. The question is, how long can we keep going with those very significant and real challenges? And I think this organization is well positioned to not just limp along, but to really excel and deliver its mission in really innovative and exciting ways. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. So.
Yeah. Well, and I imagine that there's going to be a period during which you have to familiarize yourself when you get here with the community, with the musicians, with the administration as well. So these things will adapt, as everything has, as we move forward. Zach, you want to
Maybe
chime
I'll
in?
take your questions list and go around the office and ask people.
Excellent. I can provide it to you if you like, along with a list of suggested nicknames.
For the entire staff.
Yes. Exactly.
Wait, why am I bandit? I don't get it. I would absolutely agree. I think that this is a rare point for the arts to, as possible, consider and possibly restate its relevance. And I don't know that we'll have this opportunity again. I hope we don't. But really to understand what is different about people's lives now than it was 7 months ago,
Just feels like 7 years.
It does.
Sometimes, yeah.
And as that endlessness kind of stretches out, how do we find that the arts are a safe place, a safe space for people's minds to wander? Because we haven't let our minds wander in a while. And is there something familiar about it that can make us feel more whole? And I'd be very interested to see how that unfolds, not just in this community, but across the country as the arts do start to come back to the stage.
Yeah.
Merwin, I think it's a real opportunity to reinvent ourselves almost, and to really ask, how are we serving our community? Is there more that we can do? Is there something different that we can do to serve our community? And so I think that's the big question that keeps coming back to my mind is, how, to your point, Zach, about relevance. It's not just relevance in the world, but really in our community that we live in and serve on a daily basis.
I was going to say, Merwin has been over there scribbling down on a piece of paper, unless he's writing a list of potential nicknames or his grocery list. You have something you want to chime in with, Merwin?
Well, actually, Zach was talking about letting one's mind wander, and Zach was talking, so I let my mind wander just fine.
What? No buzzer for that?
That's it. Okay. See, there's a but. I knew there was a but there somewhere.
I actually really concur with what Vanessa was just saying, because I think one of the things that's really tricky when we talk about the pandemic is it makes it seem like one global event when it's really an incredible series of hyper-local and hyper-regional events that really affect different places very, very differently.
Yeah.
And I think that we're challenged in a really interesting way to come up with a solution that really fits Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan and the specific circumstances that it is dealing with and it is facing. And I think that as much as we can draw inspiration from performing arts organizations all over the country, we need to really try to find a very specifically tailored solution that really works for our region. And I think that's something that we're doing a good job with, but that's something that we can only continue to improve.
Yep. Very well said.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be talking about this, I'm sure, as the season wears on. But Vanessa, as much as this is about us getting to know you, it's also about you getting to know us a little bit. And one of the regular things that we do on this program is a quiz, which may or may not be related to the topic of the day. So I'm wondering if you're game to do a little quiz with us.
I am. The last time I had to do a quiz, it was the U.S. citizenship test, and I had already passed it, but it still gave me a lot of anxiety. So,
That's okay. No anxiety. This quiz is called Great Gardeners in History. All right.
Perfect. I'm one of them.
This is.
Oh, I got this.
I mean, it's right up your alley, Vanessa Gardner, also known as Doug Gardner and Van or whatever the names that I can't use, that I can't say.
Yeah.
Wait, Weasel. That's the one I was trying to remember. Yeah,
it's appropriate for gardeners. Yeah,
wonderful.
Gardening.
I don't have a weasel on this quiz, unfortunately, but
yet.
Great Gardeners in History quiz. This is basically what I do is I read 3 clues and you have to guess who the person is. These are celebrities who also garden, right? So let me, so
it's not Jennifer Gardner. That's a gardener, I guess.
No. Yeah. I do have some garden quiz music here. Let me pull that up. Yes. Very much in the classical mode. Okay. So I'll give you a clue. If you can't guess it, I'll give you the second clue. If you can't guess that, I'll give you the third clue. They supposedly get a little easier to guess as we go on. Okay, number 1. This person converted over a dozen acres in Maui to an organic garden and produces over 100 pounds a week of fresh vegetables, herbs, and fruit. Any idea who that is?
Nope.
They were named after a biblical character on their birth certificate, but people often mispronounced it, so they're known by the mispronounced name nowadays. Any clues?
Wow.
This person is also known as the Queen of Media.
I should probably know this one.
I know, right?
Well, her given name was Orpah,
No.
from the Book of
No.
Ruth.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she
Oh,
runs.
Oprah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So Vanessa gets that one.
She lives in Maui. I thought she lived in Chicago.
She has acres of garden in Maui.
Oh,
I mean, if
I
you're
just
Oprah,
presumed
you
that
can live wherever
when
you
one
want.
has acres
Yeah.
of okra.
Don't start with that. Okay. Second clue. The second person. This person has a 153-acre farm in Bedford, New York, and has been in quarantine there during the pandemic with their gardener and their
Martha
fund.
Stewart.
Oh, you got it right away. Excellent. Yeah, she's been like taking pictures with a drone of her farm during quarantine.
She has a show, and it's pretty cool to see all of the things on her farm. I mean, I want to go to there.
I should have known better than to do a quiz about celebrities for a media person, right?
Yeah, well, so far I'm 1 out of 2, so.
No, I gave you the first one too because you were the first one that said her name. So you're 2 ahead of everybody else. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know we were supposed to play. I thought this is just for gardeners.
This one is a little more difficult. Okay. This person has 37 acres of organic gardens, which includes special themed gardens, something called the Time Walk, which is like an herb path that you walk through.
Is that time with a Y?
They also have a wildflower meadow. Any idea?
This is Johnny Depp.
Nope. As a child, they studied the piano, the trumpet, and the cello, and they continued with the cello through college and played in their school orchestra. They're not known as a musician, however.
Oh, it's closer. I'm getting there.
Okay. In 1970, when this person was on an official state visit to Washington, D.C., President Richard Nixon tried to set him up with his daughter.
Whoa.
So who would that be? Obviously not from the U.S.
I guess that takes Bob Woodward out.
Yeah.
Has gardens.
Not Woodward, not Cavett.
Yeah. Okay, he's a prince?
Prince Charles.
Yeah, okay, Zach gets one. Very good.
Good job.
He's a
Zach.
prince.
So we solved Prince Charles. Right now, Vanessa has 2. Zach has 1. And now we're going to move on to our next question.
Wait, how is Merwin in third place? This never happens. He must have fallen asleep.
There's still time
You
to
awake
rally
over there?
ahead.
It is about gardening, which is maybe my least favorite activity of all time. I loathe gardening, so this is totally
My last name doesn't have that extra E, right? It's not actually. It's not Gardner.
Well, Brad can't spell. This is, he did his best.
I spelled her name right. I think so. Weasel, right?
It's not fair to assume that I know anything about gardening.
This is like bluff the listener. It's perfect.
Next week we have a weaseling quiz. Okay. Famous weasels in history. Okay.
Nixon again? Huh?
Right, exactly. We were headed in that direction. Okay, a few more here. Merwin, if you can get all 3 of these questions, you can win. So this is your big chance here. Okay. This person, originally from Australia, now has a ranch near Nashville, Tennessee, where they grow organic vegetables for the family. Any ideas? No?
Yeah. Oh, Keith Urban.
You were so close.
Maybe Keith Urban's wife?
Yes.
Nicole Kidman.
There we go.
Nicole Kidman. I'm giving that to
I still
Zach.
get that one.
Oh, no. I didn't say it.
Speaking of nicknames, my second clue was in high school. Their nickname was Stalky, Stalky, because they were so tall.
Oh.
Not. I mean, it was Australia. They have a slightly different aesthetic there, I think, for nicknames. Yeah. Okay. Don't call me Stalky, right? This musician owns a 900-acre vineyard in Tuscany where they produce organic olive oil as well as wine.
Andrea Bocelli.
No.
What?
They worked as a tax collector and a bus conductor, among other things. And they were given a nickname. This is like the whole nickname episode today. They were given a nickname for their habit of wearing a black and yellow striped sweater while performing in jazz clubs. Any idea who that is?
No.
They have 16 Grammy Awards to their credit, and in 2006, they released an album of John Dowland songs.
Sting.
Totally. Merwin gets one.
All right, good job, Merwin.
Good job, Merwin.
It took us to John Dowland to think about Sting. That's the only time that's going to happen anywhere on the planet this week.
Yeah. but you get like the whole nickname thing with he wore a sweater that looked like a bee.
Well, thank you.
This is my job, to explain things on the radio.
So, he has a vineyard and did you say he's a cheesemonger?
No, olive oil.
Olive oil.
And wine. You don't want to get those mixed up. Although I guess you could cook with both. Yeah, you just don't want to drink them both the same way. All right, one last one here. Just taking the temperature here. We've got Zach and Vanessa are tied with 2 each. Merwin has one. So Merwin, you can tie it up if you can get this one. Okay, here's the last one. This celebrity claims to plant, and I quote, all organic trees to grow our own vegetables and do our own stuff. Okay? They own multiple refrigerators, including a giant walk-in fridge that they famously gave a tour of on Instagram. Okay? Last clue. Famous for being famous, this person recently announced the cancellation of their signature TV show.
Kim Kardashian.
Merwin actually got it.
Oh.
Yeah, Kim Kardashian.
Kardashians?
Yeah.
Plant organic?
I'm so sorry to tell you, Vanessa, but Keeping Up with the Kardashians has been canceled.
I did hear that. Yes.
You won't be keeping up with them anymore.
Nope.
Yeah. My last clue is that they're married to a presidential candidate, but we didn't get there.
Former presidential candidate.
Yeah. I heard he was still running. Is he not running now?
I heard he wasn't.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll look into that for our next episode.
I mean, the convention has happened. Yeah.
That's true. Now, this is nice because we had a 3-way tie. And that's like the best way to end things with everybody happy, right?
No, it's not.
No, winning is so much better.
Winning is everything, as they say.
I just love that I got 2 questions right. That's the first time I've ever been on the board. I'm very proud of that.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. Don't get used to it.
Certainly won't. Thank you, Brad.
Excellent. Well, Vanessa, I want to thank you for spending some time with us today. We hope that you'll come back. I mean, you're coming here in October, right? Beginning of October?
Yes.
Yeah.
My goal is to be there October 1st.
Okay. If you can get everything packed up.
Well, I have a garage sale planned for this weekend, so...
Okay. If anybody wants to check out Vanessa's garage sale, it's only a 20-hour drive or whatever it is. 16-hour drive down to East Texas.
I like how you say that like it's an improvement.
Yeah. Totally. You can do that in one day.
I could do that in one haul if I really put my mind to it. I don't know. We'll see.
Are you moving yourself, or do you have a company moving you?
I have gone back and forth on the idea of moving myself, but I do plan on having movers move me, yes.
Okay.
It depends how much she sells at her garage sale.
Exactly.
That's true.
Downsize a little bit before you come to Toledo.
Indeed. Yeah.
Well, we look forward to having you here, and thanks again for joining us for the podcast today. We look forward to having you back in the studio when you are here.
Yeah, I will come better prepared with my trivia.
There's no way to be prepared for this. I will just tell you, it doesn't work that way.
It really never helps.
No.
Bring more nicknames next time. We'll have a game where we figure out nicknames for everybody else.
Oh, no.
Isn't that what they do in high school and it's considered mean? I don't think that's...
Yeah, I think that's called bullying.
This program is a production of WGTE Public Media in collaboration with our sponsor, the Toledo Symphony, with generous support from the Rita Barber Kern Foundation. You can download episodes of this program as a podcast by going to our website at wgte.org/lab. You can also subscribe to us through your podcast app of choice, including Apple and Google Podcasts. Don't forget, you can check out the Symphony's new season by visiting their website at toledosymphony.com. Also keep up with their various social media outlets on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And the TAPA streaming platform, where you can watch all the performances this season, is found online at stream.artstoledo.com. My thanks to Zach Vassar, Merwin Sue, and of course to our guest, Vanessa Gardner. I'm Brad Cresswell. You've been listening to Toledo Symphony Lab from FM 91.